All right. Yes, you can see me. So last minute, Coach was unable to join, so I have to do the intro. You know, the music. You can hear me too, right? I know Aaron can see and hear me. Everyone else? So I'm filling in. I'm going solo today. I couldn't even figure out how to do the music on this broadcast, so I don't know. I can sing to you. You guys can sing to me, but but I'm here, and we're here to talk DFS basketball. All right, awesome. You guys can hear and see me. Fantastic. We're getting a good group coming in. I love it. We're just a couple minutes late here, and like I said, Coach was supposed to be joining me, but last minute he had some technical issues. Usually he's the one who starts up the podcast, so I am just, at least I'm happy that you can see and hear me. Let's put it that way. So, but we'll have some fun this afternoon. Since it's just me, got to show the love, and let's go for a nice takedown tonight also, right? So we can show the coach who's really boss, right? Anyway, so let's see. What do we got? We got a nice slate tonight. Everything's starting at our usual start time. So 11 game slate starting at 7 p.m. Eastern. Actually, I guess that does mean it's slightly early. That one game at 7 p.m. Eastern. And that is part of the main slate. Getting a nice crowd in here. Game Blank SM first in. I think he was hanging out since around 2 o'clock today, just to make sure that he'd be the first one in. So congrats on that. He beat you out, Rodney. But we've also got Travis and DD, David Dulock, Aaron Sampson's here, Saruji's joining us, and we got Travis. Slow internet, huh? All right, you'll get there. Oh, we got Earl Tyson. I feel like I'm gonna have to do a one brain is better than half a brain for Earl today. But it was kind of funny going solo. You feel like you're talking to yourself. So keep talking to me, guys. So we got a nice slate today. I think a couple of interesting games, some higher scoring games. The lowest scoring games on the slate: Orlando at Cleveland and Philly at Memphis. But we've got one game, the Indy Utah game, which is approaching 240 at 239.5. Chicago and Golden State's at 237.5. So it'll be interesting to go through those and see the impact on how many players we have in those games. But we do have 3 games over 230, and a lot of players coming back tonight as well. We've got Butler, who's now probable, and it's going to be his first game back. I think he's missed 4 or 5 games. We also have, believe it or not, Anthony Davis and LeBron James are probable tonight. And it's the season debut for Chris Middleton. So curious if anyone's going to play Chris Middleton tonight. I'm going to stay away. He's probably going to be on a minutes restriction. We also have McCollum coming back tonight. And let's see, who else do we have? We have another big guy coming back tonight. Nope, nobody big, but we might have a sighting for PJ Tucker on Brooklyn. So that would be exciting too. I think he hasn't played in about a year and a half. Not PJ Tucker, TJ Warren. So anyway, so don't forget to hit the thumbs up button on the podcast and make sure you subscribe if you haven't already done so. This is our in front of the paywall podcast for the week. We are doing everything else basically behind the paywall, so you want to make sure that you are a DFS Coach Talk member. Get all the juicy information and the lineups in the Discord. We've been doing quite well lately, and it's been fun to see those winners. So hopefully you'll join us. Going to kick things off with the Washington and Charlotte game. And I rather like this game tonight. It's only a 225, but it's a 4-point spread with Washington favored. Both the teams have some injuries. On Charlotte in particular, we've got Ball out tonight. We've got Hayward out. We've got Dennis Smith out, so they're really missing a good portion of their backcourt. So I think we're going to see a lot of minutes from some of their bench players. And on the Washington side, we still have Rui Hachimura out. He's really the only one to speak of. I like both sides of the ball here. I think it's going to be a pretty decent offensive game, although you've got pretty good defense with Washington, a very poor defense with Charlotte. So on the Washington side of things, I particularly like Porzingis. As we all know at this point, centers do very well against Charlotte, and Porzingis has been quite the study and evaluating the majority of his games. I like Porzingis a lot. Also, am a fan of Kuzma. He's really been pretty dominant too, consistently putting value and playing high level. Not at the end of the field line, I just like with other options, just getting those 60 fantasy point games, but hasn't been doing that too much recently. But if you're interested in a value play, Avdija is still a pretty good value. Let's see what he's at on now. Again, I was relying on Coach Deb. So Avdija, only 4,800 still, so that's a real fair value. With Hachimura out, he's going to get some of those extra minutes. And again, the Charlotte defense is pretty porous. So if we look at ownership in this game, look. As I'm doing this, anyone have any faith in each other? I'd love to see it and debate it. A lot of guys don't do that. A lot of the big guys don't really do it. Almost there, guys. All right, so we'll do that. We'll do that in a minute. We'll get that done with the next game as my login happens. But on the Charlotte side of things, again, with all of that, all of those guys out, I do expect a big game from Rozier and Oubre. And you're going to see it. They go pretty deep. So you could look at a couple of guys on their bench. I'm not a fan on. He will get some minutes, but he's not a great points per minute guy. Not my favorite play. I'm more enticed by someone, going really cheap, like a Bryce McGowan's. He got the minutes over James White, and he's going to split time both point guard and shooting guard. Little sneaky plays. He's going to be Min Sao. Last time he came out and gave us 23 fantasy points. All right, so moving on to the second game. Here's the computer to go into. Or for DK, that's what Saruj is looking for. You can do a DK for. Sure. I'll pull that out at the end. Someone give me a reminder. Hoping you guys can still see and hear me. I see that I'm kind of going in and out. So I don't know what it is today. There's some outages all over the place. All right, we're going to go with Denver and Atlanta next. So we have in this game 228, so a pretty decent point total, and Denver by just 3.5. So I think that it's expected that this should be a competitive game. You have Murray, game time decision right now. I expect that he's going to play. And you've got Michael Porter Jr. and Jeff Green out for Denver. On the Atlanta side of things, you do have Trae Young as a game time decision. That's new for me. I did not see that earlier. Some big implications. You have Hunter out and Collins out. Yeah, right shoulder soreness. So I think we're going to have to really look out for that because, can you smack my volume? It's kind of scratchy, huh? Change over to a different microphone. You let me know if this makes things better. Okay, so we definitely want to keep an eye on Trae Young. If he is out, expect you're going to get some Aaron Holiday in there, but more importantly, it means takeover time for DeJounte Murray, and I would be definitely on Murray, and he'll probably, not only have higher usage from a scoring standpoint, but more assists as well. The other interesting part of the lineup is their backcourt. Hella is still game time decision, and you've got, as I mentioned, Collins and Hunter out. So got a couple of options there. I really like AJ Griffin tonight. He's minimum, well, he's not minimum salary, but he's a 4K, pretty nice price. And I'm even considering Jalen Johnson if he plays. He is still questionable right now, but if he's in, I think he's a really sneaky play at that power forward position and should pay out really nicely and probably decently low owned. On the Denver side of things, not a ton of interest for me. It all depends on the Atlanta situation. If Paul is out, I'm tempted to go with Jokic. But if he's playing, I think that's going to limit Jokic's upside a little bit. And Murray, again, have to wait and see what his situation looks like as he is still questionable. I do like Bruce Brown. I think he's a real solid play, particularly steals and blocks against this young Atlanta team. So he's another guy that I will be looking at. Thanks, King of Smack. Sounds like this microphone's better, so we will keep going with it. On to the third game, Miami-Boston. It's the strangest thing. These guys, every time they play, they always score more than you expect them to. Two sort of perennial good defenses, although Boston's defense has not been as good this year. But I don't like this game at all. It's a 227. Boston's favored by 7, which is a little surprising considering that Butler is likely going to be back. But I don't like this game because I don't know where the points are going to come from. You've got everyone on the Boston side is in. So you've got Brown and Tatum. Tatum can play out of his head. But if Butler's back, he's going to get Butler defense. And I think that could make a little bit of a difference for him. Same thing with, Marcus Smart, Derek White. These guys are all priced fairly high. It's not a particularly high scoring game. And again, I just think they're going to spread it around. And then on the Miami side of things, with Hero and Butler back, I think that brings Lowry down a little bit. I can't count on Hero right now. He's very up and down. Bam Adebayo might be my only play, although, again, with Butler back, he's going to get a little bit more usage. So, to be honest, this is not one of my favorite games. On the 11-game slate, I'm fading the whole thing. If you were to choose between Brown and Tatum, Tatum's just been playing great. He played really well last year in the playoffs against Miami, so I wouldn't be afraid of going back to him if that's what you want to do. But I'm staying away from this game entirely. Any other great games to go with some more value periods. On the Orlando side of things, for the Orlando-Cleveland game, which is next up, you've got 217, so super low total. Orlando's defensively challenged. Cleveland plays slow. The spread is 10.5. Could be a bit of a blowout here. I don't love this game either. We do have Carter out, Harris out, but Keekman and Suggs out, and Mo Bamba is questionable right now. So Orlando's kind of hobbling a bit. got Fultz and Anthony both back, but they're playing split minutes. Um, Banchero, since he's been back, has been good, not great. I actually watched him play the other night because he's on my season-long fantasy team, and he looks a little desperate. The team's not playing real well right now, and he just looked a little frustrated and not really he doesn't have that leadership yet where he's going to really stay motivated and positive and carry the team. So I think they're going to struggle against a team like Cleveland. And so I'm really, Bol is there. He's priced relatively fairly. He's been playing well. And if Mo Bamba sits, I would be interested in him. If Mo Bamba plays, a little bit less so. And then on the Orlando side of things, the only guy that I'm considering, let's see if we can get into, I was considering Garland. Just a matchup, but he hasn't made my roster yet. But he's someone that I'd like to keep an eye on. It's got Kima Smack going back to the last game, likes Brown and Lowry, maybe some Bam. Rico Harris is in. Hey everyone, good to see you, Rico. We're still really lagging. Trying to pick up there so you guys can get a feel for that. Hey, Joe K. Glad you could join us today. All the guys today. Where's we need Bed or Katie? We need to win it too. Coach's mom. Me and the guys today. Really. Let's take a look. Let's take a pause and look at some of the top ownership projections. I'll go through it on Draftkings first. We've got, believe it or not, Isaiah Roby is the number one ownership guy on Draftkings. That's crazy. I mean, he's 3,100, but boy, I don't know. Zach Collins at 4,900, solid pick given the fact that Pearl's still out. Bates Diop also on San Antonio, but not a fan. Colin Sexton, number 4, at 5,500. He's really taken over that 2-guard spot. I was a big fan of his at the beginning of the year. He's finally showing some of that value. Jordan Clarkson, similarly at the point guard spot on Utah, getting a lot of usage. He's 22%, followed by Keldon Johnson. Campaign, they're playing, Phoenix playing Houston, so Campaign is a really great option tonight. He's at 6,400. Joe Harris is getting a lot of love at only 4K. I think people are getting all excited about his last 2 games. I'd be a little careful there. Although Toronto does not have the best defense against the 2-guard position. You have Evan Mobley at 7K, who's in the game that we just talked about. Certainly not a bad pick at that price. Particularly with Jared Allen out, and then PJ Washington on Charlotte, who I didn't talk about. I'm not a PJ Washington fan, but he is fairly priced at 5,500. On Fanduel, Cameron Payne takes the top spot, followed by Sexton and Clarkson, all priced really fairly. Keldon Johnson at 7K. Keldon Johnson at 7K is not a slam dunk in my mind. I think he's still a little too inconsistent for me. Bates Diop is coming in 5th place. Rozier pops up on this one at 24% ownership on FanDuel. He was only 7,400. And Vassell is 7,000. Jalen McDaniels here, again, another Charlotte guy. I'm going to on because Charlotte's been winning. Jalen was a big crash pick earlier in the year and was doing really well, but he's really come down since then. And Zach Collins rounds things out there, and again, he's a pretty solid pick. Kelly Olynyk at 6K, also part of that Indy Utah game, so that's going to be a really high scoring game. So I think we're going to see a few players from that game. And then finally on Yahoo, the only difference is the lot of the same players with Draymond Green, 31%. So Golden State's playing Chicago tonight, and Draymond Green is at $21. That's pretty good on Yahoo. Everyone else looks the same except for Zach Levine, 26. Boy, can you believe Zach Levine? I remember last year he used to be consistently $36 to $41, and now he's at $26. So that's it from an ownership perspective. Question for you, Deb. Do you think it's smart to play guys under 10K on this slate? Is it only targeting guys under 10K? I think some 8K guys can get it done tonight. Yeah, great question, King of Smack. I tend to agree. I think overall it's been really hard to pick the plus 10K guy that's going to go off. I know, for example, the other night we had Morant, and he just didn't get a dime. Giannis has not been really hitting on his value. Embiid has to an extent, but he's all the way up to 11.3 on DK, so that's pretty high. Tatum's the one guy who's really been consistently hitting it, but again, against that Miami defense, lower scoring game, although he has been known to to bust through that, makes it a little more risky. I don't mind Steph Curry. He's only 6.7% owned, and he's 10.7K, facing fairly weak Chicago defense. I like him, and I like Anthony Davis at 6'10", at only 2.4% ownership against Milwaukee. So those are probably the plus 10K guys that I like the most in Curry and Davis. But I'm not interested in Durant against Toronto, not interested in Morant against Philly. Booker, it's funny, Booker is like one of my favorite guys in the entire league, but 10-1, Booker's not a consistent 10K guy. Now he's been playing great, but and it's against Houston, so he'd probably be my third or fourth choice in that top 10. But I agree with you, King of Smack. You got so many guys in that 7-8K range. Lauren Markkinen, Terry Rozier, CJ McCollum's coming back. I mean, all these guys are sub 8K, and just are your 10K guys going to be 50% more than those guys? Probably not. So I think this is a sub 8K tonight. You got Mitchell and Murray under 9K as a free square. If Trey is out, Murray under 9K, total free square. Mitchell, Mitchell at 8,400 on DK, totally agree with you. So I think we're thinking along the same lines there, in the Smack. And Jay's with us as well. So, all right, let's get back into these games here. All right, so Lakers Milwaukee. I love this game. What a fun matchup. It's in Milwaukee. The Lakers. I don't know. Have you seen a game this year where Anthony Davis, LeBron James, and Westbrook are all healthy? I'm not sure. I don't remember the last time. So, going to be interesting. I expect that they're going to be up for this game. Being that it's against such a strong team like Milwaukee. I think the Milwaukee fans are going to be super excited to have Middleton back. Makes me a little nervous around usage on the Milwaukee side. Just all of a sudden, instead of it being the Giannis and Drew Holiday show, you got Middleton in there as well. Pricing wise, if the sites have reflected that pricing wise, I'm kind of curious because I do think that some of Drew Holiday's usage in particular is going to go down, but even Giannis to an extent. Giannis is still 12.3, Drew Holiday 7,500, and Middleton 7,700. It's a little rich for my blood. Porter's at 6,300, way too rich. So I'm really going to stay away from the Milwaukee side tonight. On the LA side, I like AD. He's been playing really great when he's in, um, playing well every time I play him, and so he's going to be my top pick on the Lakers side. So I'm probably not going to have too much ownership overall in this game, but I like AD a lot. Um, Toronto at Brooklyn. So we've got 224 points, kind of mid-range for tonight's slate, but a very competitive game. They're predicting it's going to be 1.5 point spread with Brooklyn actually favored. Personally, I think Toronto's going to win this game. And based on what I've been seeing so far, a lot of people like Kyrie Irving. If you look specifically at the ownership in this matchup, uh, Durant's getting the. You got Joe Harris, as I mentioned earlier, getting the most love, but Kyrie, of sort of the higher priced guys, he's at 8.1%. Um, you guys know I'm not a Kyrie fan, and so I'm going to continue to stay away, particularly against what I would consider to be a stronger defensive team in Toronto. Siakam is at 5.7%. I'm not going to go there. I think Claxton plays a pretty good defense, but he and Siakam both sort of long and lanky. Van Fleet, Van Fleet just feels like such a bargain at 7,300. Let's see what Van Fleet's done. His price is really high, and he's not quite having the year this year that he's having. But let's see his numbers. He only played 20 minutes the last game, but when he does get a full complement of minutes, yeah, he's really been consistent. He was as high as 55 points against Houston, but against Cleveland at 32 minutes, he was only at 24 points. So I think he's somebody who's somebody to watch out for to see if he starts getting a little more consistent. He is at only 5% ownership, but probably not going there tonight. Gary Trent Jr. had a huge game the other night. He's only 5K, so I'm interested in him. In general, I'm more interested on the Toronto side just because Brooklyn's got a softer defense and there are going to be some more possessions for Toronto. The only guy really that I'm interested in on the Brooklyn side, is Joe Harris at 4K, but frankly, given the high ownership, I'm probably going to look elsewhere. I would say Durant and Van Vliet and Anunoby. I mean, I can't believe Anunoby is just 7,400. I think that's way too low against Brooklyn. So he's probably my favorite player. All right, let's see what we got here. Holiday's going to crush the Lakers. Yeah, I mean, we do have Patrick Beverly though, and we know that Patrick Beverly can be a real harasser. So I wouldn't count that out. Out of the 5 most owned, who's the best to fade? All right, so if we go back to total ownership, let's see, highest owned. I'd say Diop. I mean, Diop is the kind of guy, they're playing New Orleans. I respect New Orleans defense. Diop's the kind of guy, sure, can he give you a 30? Yes, but can he also give you a 12? So he's the guy that I'm least confident in. I won't have any Bates Diop. A snack like Sumner. Let's see what his pricing is at. I mean, Sumner's serviceable, but here's the thing. I think that when Sumner was playing, it wasn't when Simmons was out. It was when Simmons and Kyrie was out. And he's not an offensive guy. And there's too many other offensive options in that team. So even though he's, let's see, what's he priced at? I'm not sure he's super low. Even though he's mid 3K, I don't know. Is he going to give you 20 points? And that's what you really want from a guy who's 3K. And we'll take a look and see if there are a couple of better options because I'm not on Sumner particularly. I mean, they've got Harris back, they've got Curry back, and they've got Kyrie back. So I'm not a fan of Sumner tonight. All right. So getting back to our games. New Orleans Pelicans at San Antonio Spurs. 2:32 game. New Orleans favored by 7. As I mentioned earlier, you have McCollum coming back. You have Najee Marshall coming back. And on the San Antonio side, you've got, but I'm sorry, you still have Brandon Ingram out, and tonight Dirk Jones is out as well. In the San Antonio side, you've got McDermott out, Hurdle out, Richardson out, Sochan out. And so San Antonio's a little weak. Guys are going to play some big minutes. On that side of things, I do like Trey Jones because he's going to be getting a calm defense, which is a little suspect. And I do like Zach Collins. I think he's going to get a lot of minutes and is priced very fairly. I'm not going to go with like a Vassell or Johnson at over 7K for each of them. I like the New Orleans side of things better than San Antonio in general. And I like the fact that Ingram and Jones out, you're going to get, Jones doesn't offer a lot of research, but Ingram certainly does. And Coach and I always talk about how, it's tough to play Ingram or McCollum when they're both playing. But since Ingram's not playing, I really like McCollum tonight. I also like one of these other filling guys, either Trey Murphy or Dyson Daniels. Dyson Daniels looked great in the last game. I think they're going to give this young kid a little bit of run. And so I like one of those guys, probably Daniels, since he is a less expensive option. Let's see where he's at. He might be, I know he's 3 million, but he would certainly be someone that I would be eyeing over a Sumner. Let's see. Daniels is 4,500, so he's a bit more, but I like him better than Sumner. And I had mentioned earlier in the Charlotte game with all the backcourt options out of the Charlotte that I really like. Not even on here, which means he's got to be up. Gallons is min 3K. So he's the guy I like more than Sumner. All right. So back to discussing the New Orleans Pelicans San Antonio Spurs game. So as I mentioned, Trey Murphy, Dyson Daniels. I mean, Zion's been playing great. I mean, I don't know what kind of defense Bates Diop is going to offer against Zion. So Zion could also be a great option. Let's see what his ownership is going to be. He's probably he is not 5.6% ownership. Now he is at 9,000 on DK. On Fanduel. Fanduel, he's 10% ownership, 8.9K. So I do like him a lot. He looks good. I've never really been a huge Zion fan. I thought his game was fairly limited. He just looks slimmed down. He looks active. I love the way he distributes the ball. I've really been pretty impressed. Okay, Warren is back for Brooklyn as well. It will be on a limit restriction. Exactly. I'm a big Warren fan. Once he gets off a limit restriction, watch out. I'm going to be playing him before people realize how good he can be. So I see best center on FanDuel from Earl. All right, let's see what we got. Center position. Feel free to chime in, guys, with what you think. But from my perspective, let's see what we got. There's a few guys I like tonight. I definitely, if you want to go for a lower priced option, I do like Zach Collins. I also like Kelly Olynyk tonight. And if you want to go, let's see, we can see who's that low owned. Bam Adebayo at 9K, very low owned. Got a number of really low owned centers tonight, which is kind of odd. Actually, you want to actually, yeah. That's pretty surprising, some of these guys. I mean, granted, Bam Adebayo is 9K, but 1% ownership is really low. Bol at 6,800 is 0.1% ownership. And that's a guy that Coach has been on a lot this year. So again, and then watch out for a Condu LS6. I'd be all over him. His ownership will certainly go up, but he's 4,400. So I would say, higher priced top options for me are Evan Mobley at 7.2 and Porzingis at 9.1 for the higher priced options. So I hope that helps, Earl. Okay. Come back to Philadelphia, Memphis. This is one of those lower scoring games, particularly if you are a fan of Memphis, they're going to get some slow down Philly D. And on the Philly side, we've got a lot of guys out, so there is a little bit of value, but Harris is a game time decision, and Harden and Maxey are still out. On the Memphis side, Bain is still out, and we've got Williams and Larabia out as well. So, who do I like in this game? I like mostly guys on the Philadelphia side. Memphis plays fast, and I think Philly would benefit from that as well as some of the guys being out. I always target point guards against Morant. I don't think he's the best defender. Shake Milton's been playing out of his head. I think he'll continue to have a strong game, particularly if Harris is out. He gets some of that extra usage because Harris is going to be backed up by like a House or Niang, not quite as high usage players. Melton is an interesting play. Let's see if he's priced at, because here's the thing with Melton. He's coming back to play against Memphis in Memphis, and Memphis was the team that gave up on him. So, I like that narrative. I have not been liking Melton's pricing. I thought that he's been really overpriced. He was about $2,000 difference from Milton, and so see if that's changed. Yeah, Melton, still 7,200. Not bad at this point. It's come down. It was as high as I think like 8,000. It's come down a bit. You really need a 40-point game from him. I think if Tobias Harris is out, I'm more interested. The other issue is he might be getting Dylan Brooks defense, which I respect. So something to watch out for there. He's certainly going to stay low owned. It might be a GPP play for me. And then Shake Milton at 6,700. He's starting to get up there a bit. So I like him. I don't love him. Embiid, is solid at his pricing and under 10% ownership. But there are a number of other centers that I like better. I've been thinking about Paul Reed. He got a lot of minutes the last game. Memphis plays big, so he might be needed. And at 4,100 and 0.1% ownership, he might be a sneaky little play for me tonight as a killer. And then on the Memphis side of things, I'm probably staying away. I'm not a Dylan Brooks fan. He's particularly when he's over 6K, he's at 6,500. Conchar might be the one guy that I'm interested in this game at 5K. All right. Jay Blazing likes Embiid and Melton. Yeah, I like Melton a lot, and can't fault you for liking Embiid if you can put him in at 11-3. Right. Moving right along. You know we're going fast when we're the coach, right? All right, 229.5 for Houston Rockets at the Phoenix Suns. My Phoenix Suns. The spread, watch out, is 11.5. So the only concern about this would be a blowout. You've got most of your guys helping on the Houston side. Just Tate is out, and on the Phoenix side, we still have Johnson out and Chris Paul out. And tonight, Torrey Craig is out, which is a big thing because it'll be really interesting to see who they slot into that power forward position. I am likely to play whoever they slot in there because they're going to be so cheap. I don't know who it's going to be. It's either going to be Ish Wainwright or Dario Saric, or they go real small and they put Bridges at the 4 and then put somebody like a Damian Lee in, who I would definitely jump at the bit to get him. So let's hang on for that one, and let's see who comes in there, because that could be a really sneaky play, as they're going to be super cheap. I like a lot of the Phoenix players, but like I said, it depends on, if I game surface, it could be a blowout, so that kind of concerns me, particularly if we're going after someone like Booker. Is he going to play, 40 minutes, 39 minutes, or is he going to play 29 minutes, as well as Aiton? Aiton's been creeping up price-wise. You could have gotten him, for a pretty good price about a week or 2 weeks ago, but because of his strong play recently, he's really come up, and just don't quite think that the minutes are going to be there in this game. So you have Booker 10-1. I can't do it. Aiton at 7-9. Again, just a little too high for me, considering some of these other guys. So got to wait on that news. And like I said, otherwise, I am not excited about anyone on the Houston side. Not a lot of ownership is being attributed to these guys because of the Phoenix defense. It's going to slow them down a lot. And the pricing is pretty fair. Jalen Green, 7,300. He hasn't even been playing that great. Kevin Porter, 7,700. So I'm probably pretty light on this game. Like I said, maybe that power forward starter and somebody like Cam Payne for Phoenix. Reason says Jackson sneaky if no Tobias. Who's Jackson? Jackson on no Tobias. I'm assuming you mean no Tobias Harris. Oh, you mean Jaren Jackson on Memphis. Yeah, although I would anticipate that more likely that Tucker takes Jackson. So yeah. Okay. Let's see. Everything's out in Utah. Big game here. Highest points on the board at 239.5, and Halliburton is a game time decision. So that's going to be the big thing. If he sits, I'm all over McConnell. I think McConnell is a great play. He's been playing a great backup point guard. We've seen him in the past when he used to fill in for Brogdon, and he would get huge usage. So really like him tonight if Halliburton sits. If Halliburton plays, I'm probably not going to play Halliburton, just given his pricing. But I do want some exposure to this game because it's so high priced, high scoring. I may look at a Buddy Hield, given Colin Sexton is not known for his defense, or a Neesmith or Mathurin. I like Mathurin a lot. He's been looking really good and pretty consistently. Probably not going after the bigger guys on Indiana. On the Utah side of things, I really like Markkanen tonight. Markkanen is going to be one of my favorite plays tonight. He is, my last check, it wasn't too crazy. Yeah, he's at 14%, but he's under 8K. Going to have a ton of usage against a fairly weak Indiana defense. So I'm pretty high on marketing and also a limit of 5,800 on DraftKings. In particular, on DraftKings, it's sub 6K. I like a limit a lot. So, and then I also like Sexton, as I mentioned earlier, 5,500. So I will definitely have exposure this game. Probably two on the Utah side and one or two on the Indiana side, depending on what's going on with Halliburton. So, a good game you definitely want exposure to from a offensive standpoint. Hola, Rosie Miller. ¿Cómo está? All right. So, let's see. I'm trying to see. I think we got Kilo Smack and Ball trade. We got the Kings today. We're both from Cali, though. He's already visited family. He's doing a lot of that. Let's see. Okay, yeah. I think we hit all the questions that people had. And we're down to our last game. So we've got the Chicago Bulls at the Golden State Warriors, 7.5-point spread with Golden State favored, and a 237 total. Second highest total on the board. A likable game, a likable matchup. I might go bigger on this game. I mean, Steph Curry, this feels like a Steph Curry game. What do you guys think? I mean, he's, you know, he's just so good. And Chicago's defense, they're at home. Chicago has moved their own. Sorry, Golden State has moved their own 500. He had nearly a triple double. Was that his last outing 2 days ago? That was. He's just been doing it all. No, that was 2 games ago. But he's scoring consistently in the mid 40s. Doesn't do it when he's priced over 10K. But he's had a couple in the his past 10 games. He's had 3 where he's gone over 68. So it's a decent decent game to do it in, given how porous the defense is on Chicago. So might be a nice little play right now. Let's see what his ownership is. I think I mentioned earlier, but just to go back to it. Yeah, his ownership's only at 6.7%, so I like that a lot at that level. Zach Levine is the highest owned player in this game at 7,200 and 15.7. Just not been that consistent this year. It's really been a tough year for Chicago at 9 and 12, and a tough year for Zach Levine. Interesting to see if they can start to turn around, if they can start playing. He has not gone over 40 fantasy points in a month. So, that being said, he's consistently in the mid to high 30s. So, not a crazy play at 7,200. He gets you that 5x, 35, and then maybe he does go for 40. We know that the defense has not been that great for Golden State this year so far. So, not a bad play there. I do like Vukovic a lot. I think, again, where the defense is not particularly good for Golden State has been against the big men. So, 7,300 for Vuk, I think, is a really fair price. DeRozan's a little pricey for me in this game, 8,300. And I'm going to go back to Wiggins. I really think Wiggins is like Mr. Consistent and he's playing well. 6,600. I like him a lot. So I'm going to have some good exposure to this game. Probably a 2-2, and that will round things out. So, any questions from the community before we go on to a core DK? So I'm going to look at this now. So let's see who's going to look at it. I have not finalized my DK lineup yet. Do we want I guess it's a core GPP. So, in that, I'm going to go for some GPP plays, not your average plays. So I'm going to start with Steph Curry at point guard. And I'm going to go to I'm going to go to Donovan Mitchell at shooting guard. And I'm going to stick in salary, so give you guys a lot better. I'm going to stick in McGowan's at 3K. At small forward, 3K. And then we're going to go with Marketing at power forward. And so we've got Curry, Mitchell, McGowan's, Marketing, and Wiggins. And there's a lot you can do. You've got a remaining salary of like $4,500. So there's a lot you can do with that. A lot of guys that I've mentioned. If we go to Draftkings, I'm going to sort by salary here, and we're going to see some really good plays here. I'll give some ideas. Again, if I do like Paul Reed, at his low ownership, a Kongwu, if LS6 would be a great play. Talked about the Dyson Daniels play. He's 4,500. I think AJ Griffin is tremendous at 4,500. Denny Avdija, 4,800, and Zach Collins at 4,900. So that should give you guys some things to play with there. And that's it. Unless you guys have any other questions or comments, we're going to have done this in an hour, and it should give you guys plenty of time to play your lineups. Don't forget, for those of you who are members, we will have our full Fanduel and Yahoo lineups posted at about 6:40 today Eastern, and DK, in addition to their GPP core here, we'll have a single entry core as well. So lineups posted. If you're not a member, make sure you purchase that membership. It's the best value right now in DFS with some really consistent returns. We have a lot of fun, as you can see here in Discord, where I'm like winging it, kind of going solo. So I hope you guys enjoyed what I shared with you. I hope it gives you some winners tonight, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Let's see, where we have tomorrow. I think Coach is doing NBA, and then I think tomorrow night or Sunday morning is going to be the NFL broadcast. So we will see you then as we look to crush it. DFS Coach Talk.